You know what's wild? The Real Housewives franchise has given us some of the most unhinged husbands in television history. We're talking men who got caught cheating on hot mics. After the press, you need to push this more once. I might be single. A lawyer who literally stole millions from plane crash orphans to fund his wife's music career. And a man whose idea of romance was allegedly threatening to kill his wife on camera. Don't tell me what to say. I'm going to crush your hand and stop it. In part 1, we expose some of the worst. But trust me, the men on this list, they might be even worse. So let's get into it because this list is stacked. Russell Armstrong. If you watched the early seasons of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, you already know this story doesn't end well. Russell Armstrong was married to Taylor Armstrong. And from the very first season, you could feel something was off. On camera, Russell came across as cold, distant, and controlling. Taylor was visibly walking on eggshells around this man. She later admitted that she hoped the cameras would protect her, that maybe having a film crew in the house would force Russell to be on his best behavior. Think about that. She joined a reality show, hoping the presence of cameras would stop her husband from hurting her. Behind the scenes, it was far worse. Taylor has since revealed that Russell would grab her by the throat, pin her against walls, and even once tried to hold her underwater in a swimming pool. She says he planted recording devices around the house so he could monitor everything she said. He was controlling what she wore, who she spoke to, and how she behaved. And when she made pizza for his sons one night without adding vegetables, he grabbed her by the neck and threatened to kill her. The moment that cracked everything wide open was in Season 2, at Lisa Vanderpump's tea party, when Camille Grammer revealed on camera that Russell was abusing Taylor. Because we don't say that he broke your jaw or that he threw you in the beat you up and he hit you. We don't say that. But now we said it. Taylor later said she looked at the producer in complete shock, knowing her life had just changed forever. And her fear wasn't just embarrassment. She genuinely believed Russell might kill her for the secret getting out. Russell then went full damage control. He threatened Camille with a lawsuit, sent emails to the production company demanding the cast stop talking about his marriage, Maya, and even tried to get Taylor fired from the show. That led to the infamous scene at Kyle Richards' white party, where Russell and Taylor showed up uninvited, after being told not to come because no one wanted to be around Russell. Kyle confronted them in the limo, and you could see Taylor caught between her husband and her classmates in real time. It was painful to watch. Then there was the episode where Taylor showed up to Lisa's Sir launch party with a visible black eye. She couldn't hide it anymore. She eventually filed for divorce in July 2011, citing physical and verbal abuse, and had to undergo reconstructive surgery on her eye socket. After Russell fractured her orbital floor by punching her in the face on her birthday. On top of the abuse, Russell was also facing lawsuits for financial fraud and misappropriating investor money. A month after Taylor filed for divorce, Russell took his own life. The whole situation was tragic, dark, and completely changed the tone of RHOBH forever. Taylor has since become an advocate for domestic violence survivors, but her story remains one of the most harrowing in the entire franchise. Mario Singer. Mario Singer was Ramona Singer's husband of 22 years, and for the first 6 seasons of Real Housewives of New York City, he seemed like the perfect partner. Ramona never missed an opportunity to brag about their marriage, but behind the cameras, Mario was living a double life that would eventually blow up in spectacular, humiliating fashion. The warning signs were there from the beginning. During Season 4's Morocco trip, a psychic told Ramona she saw another woman in Mario's life. Ramona brushed it off, telling Andy Cohen she didn't pay attention to fortune tellers and knew what she had. Turns out the psychic was right. Throughout the show, Mario's behavior raised red flags. He was constantly flirting with other women, even getting accused by cast member Jill Zarin of being obsessed with her. Patty Stanganger, the millionaire matchmaker, later revealed she personally witnessed Mario cheating in the Hamptons, saying she saw the whole thing go down and that Mario was having a full-blown midlife crisis. In October 2013, Page 6 broke the news that Mario was having an affair with a 20-some woman named Casey Dexter, whom he met in the Hamptons that summer. The report alleged she got pregnant and that Mario paid for her abortion. This was reportedly the first time Ramona learned about the affair from a tabloid, not from her husband. But the real horror show happened in January 2014. Ramona grew suspicious when Mario came home late one night, claiming he got lost taking the bus. A woman just has intuition. Ramona later said, "I know my husband." She decided to drive to their Southampton home unannounced. What she found was nightmare fuel. Mario and Casey were at the house. Casey was upstairs in the marital bedroom, putting her clothes away like she lived there because she basically did. Casey later admitted in an interview, "Yes, I did sleep in the marital bed, just telling the truth. When Ramona burst through the door, Mario was so shocked he slammed it behind him." Ramona described the scene at the reunion, saying, "It was actually like out of a horror picture. It was a horror picture. The police were called." Casey sat at the top of the stairs, shaking, calling her mom while Ramona confronted Mario. It was public humiliation at its finest. Ramona filed for divorce, but Mario begged for forgiveness, crying and pleading for another chance. After 22 years of marriage, Ramona agreed to try counseling. For 3 months, they worked on rebuilding trust, and Mario swore he'd cut off all contact with Casey. But by July 2014, Ramona's intuition kicked in again. Mario came home late with a suspicious story, and when confronted, he admitted he'd gotten together with Casey again. Allegedly, just to comfort her over an ailing relative. Ramona was done. "Don't say you want to make the marriage work and then be deceitful," she told people. "That's a betrayal to me and my daughter." The divorce was finalized in 2016, but Mario wasn't done causing chaos. He and Casey continued their relationship for 3 more years, with Mario setting her up in an apartment and spoiling her financially. But here's the karma. Mario eventually caught Casey cheating on him by installing hidden cameras in their shared home. When he found out, he evicted her and called the cops when she wouldn't leave. Casey later complained in an interview that she resented Mario for kicking her out even though she cheated. "I almost feel like we got a divorce. What did I get in this settlement?" "Nothing," she whined. "The audacity." Looking back, Mario Singer was the definition of a man who wanted his cake and ate it too. He publicly humiliated Ramona by carrying on an affair in their own home, manipulated her into taking him back, then immediately reconnected with his mistress. He spent years flirting openly with other women while Ramona defended their marriage, only to destroy it all for someone young enough to be his daughter. Mario didn't just cheat. He made Ramona look foolish on national television while she stood by him. And that's unforgivable. Aaron Fipers. Now, let's talk about a man who showed up on RHOBH and immediately had everybody's radar going off. Aaron Fipers married Denise Richards in 2018. And when she joined the cast in season 9, Aaron came along for the ride. And at first, Denise couldn't stop talking about how great this man was. She was literally telling anyone who'd listen about, let's just say, his physical attributes. It seemed like a fairy tale. Gorgeous Hollywood actress, rugged wellness guy, living their best life in Malibu, cool. Great. Except it wasn't. The first real red flag for viewers came during that now legendary dinner party at Kyle Richards' house in season 10. Kyle innocently asked Aaron what he does for a living, and this man launched into a full conspiracy theory monologue about quantum physics, atomic energy, and how cancer isn't actually what doctors say it is. Look at that! It's all a measurement of the electromagnetic spectrum frequency. He claimed Big Pharma was out to get him, and that he and Denise were being followed by mysterious cars. Mauricio was sitting there nodding along like he understood a single word. Garcilov summed it up perfectly in her confessional. The party went from awkward to bizarre to even more bizarre. Erica Jane hits him with the now iconic line. "That's fascinating, Dr. Aaron." "Oh, wait, you're not a doctor. You don't even play one on TV." But the moment that's really haunting now is from that same season. Denise and Aaron were leaving Kyle's barbecue after Denise got into it with the cast. As they walked out holding hands, Denise whispered, "Baby, don't say a word. We're on camera." And Aaron, in a low, cold voice, said, Don't tell me what to say. I'm going to crush your hand. Stop it. The cast and fans heard it. Erica Jane tweeted about it live. At the reunion, Andy Cohen asked Denise about it directly, and she said she didn't even know he'd said it until she watched it back. Satin Strack's response: zero tolerance, zero, unacceptable. And Garcelle said she was genuinely worried. At the time, people thought it was just a weird, intense moment. But fast forward to 2025, and the full picture came out. Denise filed for a restraining order against Aaron, claiming he had violently choked her throughout their marriage, slammed her head into a bathroom towel rack, given her at least 3 concussions, and threatened to kill her and himself if she reported him. She submitted photos of a black eye she says he gave her in 2022. Court documents also revealed he allegedly stole her laptop, leaked her private nude photos to news outlets, and threatened to make her disappear if she called the police. He was also hit with 4 felony charges: 2 counts of injuring a spouse and 2 counts of dissuading a witness. And to top it all off, after filing for divorce, this man had the nerve to ask for spousal support from Denise. Now, before we go any further, if you're watching this and you haven't hit that subscribe button, what are you even doing? Hit subscribe, drop a like. Because part 3 might be coming, and you don't want to miss that. Todd Tucker. All right. Now, this one is going to have people divided because Todd Tucker wasn't your typical villain husband on the show. He wasn't out here screaming or throwing things. His drama was more slow burn, the kind that creeps up on you over a decade, until one day the whole thing combusts. Todd met Candy Burrows while he was working as a line producer on the Real Housewives of Atlanta during season 4. So, right out the gate, this man went from being behind the cameras to being in front of them and in Can's bed. And the person who saw through it from day one, Mama Joyce, Candy's mother, never liked Todd. Not from the jump, not in the middle, not at the end. She famously said Candy took a lemon and made lemonade. She openly questioned his intentions and even considered putting Can's child as her beneficiary instead of leaving anything to Todd's reach. For years, our HOA viewers watched Mama Joyce go to war with this man at every family gathering, every holiday dinner, every confessional. And what made it sting is that a lot of fans thought she was being dramatic. Turns out Mama Joyce might have been the prophet we didn't deserve. On the show, cracks started showing during season 12 when Candy and Todd sat down for couples therapy and admitted their relationship had taken a hit. Todd flat out said they loved each other, but hadn't been happy. Candy admitted the intimacy had dropped off, and their overlapping businesses were creating emotional distance. They tried to play it off as a rough patch, but looking back, the writing was on the wall. Then in November 2025, Candy officially filed for divorce after 11 years of marriage. And here's where it gets messy. Sources told People magazine that Candy had discovered Todd was talking to other women behind her back. She had no idea. There were even accusations of a secret girlfriend circulating online. And what did Todd do in response to the divorce filing? He requested primary custody of the kids, challenged the prenuptial agreement, claiming he was pressured into signing it without a lawyer, even though the entire prenup negotiation was literally filmed on Can's Bravo spin-off, Candy's Wedding. Candy's legal team hit back and told the judge to roll the tapes, pointing to the exact moment Todd said on camera that he was good to sign after speaking to his attorney. On top of that, Candy alleged in court documents that Todd refused to leave the house, a house she bought before they were even married, and hadn't paid a single expense or child support. Meanwhile, Todd was posting videos of himself cooking and cleaning, trying to build a narrative that he was the primary caretaker of the kids. Candy had to hire a nanny to counter those claims. In the end, they settled in March 2026, with Candy paying Todd over $400,000 to balance out the property split, and they agreed on joint custody. But the whole thing left a sour taste. Todd wasn't the loudest villain on this franchise, but between the alleged cheating, the prenup games, refusing to leave the house, and going after Candy's bag, all while Mama Joyce was doing her victory lap in the background, he earned his spot on this list. Tom Girardi. Now, this next man. I need you to really hear me on this one. because the other husbands on this list did terrible things to their wives. Tom Girardi did terrible things to everybody: his wife, his clients, orphans, widows, burn victims, the entire California legal system. This man was an equal opportunity villain. Tom Girardi was a powerhouse attorney in Los Angeles, one of the most respected trial lawyers in the country. He was the guy behind the real Aaron Brockovich case, the one Julia Roberts made a whole movie about. He married Erica Jane in 2000. She was 28, he was 60. And when Erica joined RHOBH in season 6, we got a front row seat to their lifestyle, and what a lifestyle it was. We're talking a sprawling Pasadena mansion, private jets, country club memberships, and Erica spending $40,000 a month on glam alone, on the show. And Tom once said to a friend about Erica, "If you think you can afford her, you can have her." And Erica just sat there and took it, because, as she later admitted, she felt pressure to shut up and be grateful. But here's what nobody knew. All that money. A lot of it wasn't Tom's. It belonged to his clients, injured people, grieving families, people who trusted him with the worst moments of their lives. Federal prosecutors later revealed Tom had been running what was essentially a Ponzi scheme for over a decade, from 2010 to 2020, siphoning at least $15 million in settlement funds from his own clients. One man, Joseph Ruger, was severely burned in a gas explosion that killed his girlfriend. Tom won him a multi-million-dollar settlement and then just kept the money. Told the family it was still being processed while he was spending it on private planes and designer clothes for his wife. And then there were the Lion Air families. In 2018, a Boeing 737 crashed into the Java Sea, killing 189 people. Tom represented widows and orphans of the victims and secured settlements worth millions. And then he stole at least $3 million of that money. These families in Indonesia were calling, emailing, begging for the money that was rightfully theirs. Tom's team blamed CO for the delays. Meanwhile, Erica was on RHOBH, living like royalty. When Erica filed for divorce in November 2020, a lot of people thought it was a sham, just a way to hide assets. A lawsuit was filed the very next month, alleging exactly that. The whole thing blew up on season 11 of RH, and the Hulu documentary, The Housewife and the Hustler, it put every detail on blast. In August 2024, Tom was found guilty of 4 counts of wire fraud. The jury deliberated for just 4 hours, and in June 2025, at 86 years old, he was sentenced to 7 years and 3 months in federal prison. The judge said despite his dementia diagnosis, he was fit to serve time. She ordered him to pay $2.3 million in restitution and told him flat out. He spent many years robustly living the high life with the victim's money. The U.S. attorney called him a Robin Hood in reverse, stealing from the needy to support a lavish Hollywood lifestyle. His former CFO got 10 years. His son-in-law got 4 months. And Tom, he's currently sitting in federal prison as we speak, and he'll likely die there. Tom Girardi isn't just one of the worst husbands in Housewives history. He might be one of the worst people to ever appear on reality television. Lenny Hochstein. If there was ever a man on this franchise who fumbled his entire life on camera and somehow didn't seem to care, it's Lenny Hochstein. This man gave us one of the most cold-blooded moments in Real Housewives history. And the wildest part, he didn't even know the mic was on. Lenny is a plastic surgeon in Miami, known as the Boob God. And he married Lisa Hochstein back in 2009. Lisa joined the cast of Real Housewives of Miami in season 2. And for years, their marriage was the picture-perfect Miami fantasy. The Star Island mansion, the designer wardrobe, the glam lifestyle. Lisa loved calling herself Lenny's Barbie. But behind the scenes, Lenny was more interested in his tennis game than his wife. He was emotionally distant, dismissive, and on the show. Once you could see Lisa constantly trying to make this man show her even a crumb of affection, while he just didn't. Now, here's where it gets legendary. During season 5, Lenny and Lisa hosted a good vibes pool party at their home. Lisa is outside with the girls talking about how their marriage survived the ups and downs. She's literally saying, "The grass is not greener on the other side." She's even quoting Lenny's own mother, who told her on their wedding day, "Hochsteins never divorce, we stick it out." Meanwhile, at the exact same party, Lenny is inside the house whispering to his buddy Vito that he was about to be single, and then he dropped the bomb. He said he hadn't been sleeping with Lisa because, and I need you to really hear this, sleeping with his wife would be cheating on who I really care about. Let that sink in. And this man flipped the entire concept of cheating on its head. In his mind, being intimate with his wife was disloyal to his mistress. Producers spent hours combing through audio to find it, and when they did, it became one of the most jaw-dropping hot mic moments in Housewives history. Shortly after, Lenny filed for divorce in May 2022, and immediately, and I mean the ink wasn't even dry, went public with Austrian model Catherine Mazeppa. He told Lisa to move out of their Star Island mansion. Lisa later said she couldn't even afford diapers after Lenny cut her off financially. She said she found out so many secrets after the split, the timeline of the affair, things happening behind the scenes she had no idea about. It was humiliating, and it played out on national television in real time. But karma doesn't miss. By July 2023, Lenny proposed to Katharina. They were living their best life, posing on Cliff's Pizza, looking like a cologne ad. But just over a year later, they broke up. And it gets better. Lenny's own friend accused Karina of cheating on him the entire time. Fans had one collective response: karma is a knee. In November 2024, the divorce from Lisa was finally finalized. He was ordered to pay $15,000 a month in child support plus spousal support. Lisa has since moved on with a new partner and is thriving on RHOM. And Lenny, he went from having a wife who adored him, a gorgeous family on Star Island, and a reality TV platform, to being the cautionary tale every Housewives fan brings up when they talk about men who didn't know what they had. Tom D'Agostino. If you've ever watched someone run full speed into a brick wall and thought somebody should stop her, congratulations. You watched Luann de Lesseps marry Tom D'Agostino on Real Housewives of New York. Tom was a 50-year-old lifelong bachelor and New York socialite when he started dating Luann in 2015 after being introduced through Dinda Medley. And right away, there was a problem. Actually, there were several problems, and they all had names. See, before Tom got with Luann, he had already dated not one but two of her classmates. Sonia Morgan famously declared on camera, "He may be her soulmate, but I've been doing him forever." Ramona Singer also confirmed she'd dated Tom without knowing about his thing with Sonia. So, this man was essentially working his way through the Ray cast like it was a buffet. And Lan still said yes when he proposed. Now, here's where it gets truly iconic. During Season 8, as Luann and Tom were planning their wedding, Bethany Frankel received photographic evidence of Tom making out with another woman at the Regency Hotel just days after their engagement party. Bethany pulled Lan aside in tears and showed her the photos. And what did Lan do? She confronted Tom. He claimed he had no recollection because he was too drunk. And Lan forgave him. She called it a bump in the road. Every single one of her castmates tried to warn her. Bethany was literally crying, telling her she was making a mistake 2 weeks before the wedding. Ramona hinted she had even more dirt, but held back because Luann didn't want to hear it. And Lan married him anyway on New Year's Eve 2016. The marriage lasted 7 months, and even during that short time, the red flags kept flying. During the Season 9 finale, cameras caught Tom at Tinsley Mortimer's party, removing his microphone so he could have a private conversation with an ex-girlfriend named Missy. That's the move of a man who knows exactly what he's doing and knows he shouldn't be doing it. The cast noticed, the viewers noticed, everyone noticed, except apparently Luann, until she couldn't ignore it anymore. The final straw came just before the Season 9 reunion. Tom went out, called up an old girlfriend, met up with a group of people, and Luann found out about it the next day in the press. She later told Andy Cohen, "That for me was the final straw. I was like, I can't do this anymore." Reports also surfaced that Lon had confronted Tom at Labaloke restaurant and grabbed his face in public. She later clarified, "I didn't slap him. And I grabbed his face. It was in the heat of the moment." After the divorce, Tom reportedly mocked Luan to friends, saying he didn't realize he was marrying a Walgreens, a jab at the amount of pills he claimed she had around the house. And to make it even messier, he told people that, yes, he cheated, but only because Luan cheated first. The fallout was devastating. Later that year, Lan was arrested in Palm Beach for trespassing and accused of drunkenly kicking a police officer at the same hotel where she'd celebrated her wedding weekend. She entered rehab, came back, went to rehab again, and has been incredibly open about how the end of that marriage sent her into a spiral. As of 2025, she's been single for 7 years and appeared on Bravo's Love Hotel, still trying to trust again. Meanwhile, Tom moved on with a new girlfriend and has been spotted living in his best bachelor life in Palm Beach, which, let's be real, is probably what he wanted the whole time. The man was a bachelor for 50 years, married for 7 months, and left a trail of drama that's still being talked about almost a decade later. Todd Bradley. And last, but certainly not least, a man who managed to become one of the most talked about housewives' husbands, despite barely saying a word on camera. Todd Bradley, the husband of Bronwyn Newport from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And honestly, this man's storyline played out like a slow-motion car crash across 2 whole seasons. Todd is a tech executive, formerly the CEO of Palm during the Palm Pilot era, and he's 25 years older than Bronwyn. They met in San Francisco while she was working in finance. Got married in 2016 with 2 ceremonies, and together they've been raising Gwen, Bronwyn's daughter, from a previous relationship. On paper, this was the power couple dream. Mansions in Utah, a ski house, an apartment in New York, real estate in California, and Cabo. Bronwyn showed up to RHOOSLC Season 5, dripping in Schiaparelli and Dolce & Gabbana. Life was looking good. Except it wasn't. The first crack appeared in Season 5 during a cast trip to Puerto Vallarta. Bronwyn revealed that a couple of years prior, her daughter Gwen had caught Todd texting another woman on his iPad. Gwen saw the messages over his shoulder and went straight to her mother. When Bronwyn confronted him, Todd admitted to what she called an emotional affair and his excuse. He said it was a fatal flaw. That the same drive that makes him successful in business and always chasing the next deal made it hard for him to turn that off at home. He gave Bronwyn 5 diamonds, representing 5 new promises to do better. And she stayed. But Season 6 is where the whole thing went nuclear. During a cast yacht trip, a crossover with Below Deck Down Under, no less, castmate Angie Katsanovas dropped a bomb. She revealed that Lisa Barlow had told her a rumor about Todd allegedly making out with one of Lisa's friends while farting the entire time. Yes, you heard that right. The man allegedly couldn't even cheat without passing gas. The internet lost its mind. Lisa later confirmed the story, saying someone she trusted told her about the incident. Bronwyn was humiliated and furious, though she dismissed it because she didn't believe Todd would go near any of Lisa's friends. But it didn't stop there. Later in the season, online rumors surfaced that Todd had been caught on a plane looking at photos of other women on his phone. A random person posted details about the specific flight, and the information was so precise that Bronwyn believed them. She confronted Todd, and he tried to blame her castmates for stirring drama. She wasn't having it. She kicked him out of the house and told him to stay in a hotel that night. In the Season 6 finale, Bronwyn finally admitted on camera that Todd had been disloyal to her. And then came the most heartbreaking moment. Bronwyn saying, "I think I mean as much to Todd as any person can mean to him, but I think Todd means more to me than I mean to him." That's not a confession. That's a woman realizing she's been settling. At the reunion, she confirmed the separation. On December 12, 2025, her rep made it official. After 9 years, Bronwyn and Todd were done. And here's the kicker. They had no prenup. With all those properties, businesses, and assets on the table, this divorce is about to get very, very interesting. And just weeks later, Todd was already spotted having drinks with a mystery woman. The internet's response: was he farting? 7 husbands, 7 different flavors of terrible. From physical abuse to stolen millions, to hot mic confessions, to cheating scandals that literally stank. This franchise has a track record of exposing men who thought the cameras couldn't touch them. And the thing is, we haven't even covered everybody. There are names that didn't make this list that absolutely could have. So the question is, who did we miss? And more importantly, does part 3 need to happen? Because I've already got a list. Drop a comment and let me know who should be on it. Because on The Real Housewives, the wives come and go, but the husbands, they always get caught.